Hi, my name is Ashok. I'm from FinEx Training Institute. We are providing free classroom training in Mumbai for one entire month for CFA aspirants so that they themselves can decide if they wish to continue this certification. Please feel free to contact us for further details. Thank you.
Functions of an investment bank. Functions of an investment bank. So what are their roles? What do they do? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. Functions of an investment bank. So first one is underwriter. So underwriting is the process of raising capital from the market. It is the process of raising capital from the market. So raising capital from the market. So when a company X wants to raise capital from the market, it will approach an investment bank. Investment bank will study the balance sheet of the company, and then they will help advise and help companies to raise capital from the market. That is called underwriting process. Second, merger and acquisition. So when a company wants to get merged with another company, or when they want to acquire another company, at that time again investment bank plays the role of the advisor. Investment bank will study the company, and then they will advise, as in like at what amount one company should acquire another company, or in what ratio shares should be exchanged. That is merger and acquisition. These two form the basis of their income. In underwriting, they charge around 2 to 5% of the amount that is being raised from the market. Okay, so this underwriting and merger and acquisition forms the major source. Apart from that, they have other income sources also, like research and advisory services. So research and advisory services, as in under research and advisory services, company will do research of various companies, and then they will come up with their call, whether they want to whether they are giving buy call, hold call, or else sell call. So such advisory will also be sold to their clients. Okay, that is research and advisory services. Now when they are doing all this, if they are advising others to buy, sell, or hold, they themselves can also trade, right? So they themselves can also trade, and they can trade for others also. So when they are doing trading for others, they act as the broker. So they act as the broker as well. So as a broker, what do? They just follow the instructions given by the client. That means they follow the instructions given by the client. Instructions given by the client. That means if the client says buy, they will buy. If the client says sell, they will sell. So that time they are playing the role of a broker. Now if they are acting on behalf of the client, they themselves also they have enough capital to trade for their own firm. When they trade for their own firm, it is called as dealer. So as a dealer, what do? They trade as in buy and sell, trade for their own firm as a dealer. Then what else they can do? Other roles are, they act as the depository bank also. Depository bank. Depository bank. So this comes into play in an international trade. In order to resolve the issues of international trade, they act as a depository bank. This needs deep explanation. I have created another video as ADR and GDR, American Depository Receipts and Global Depository Receipts. I have given the link in the descriptions. You may go through that if you need explanation for depository bank. Then they act as the custodian. In India, many investment banks are acting as the custodian. As a custodian, they do the work of safeguarding investors' financial assets. Safeguarding investors' financial assets. Investors' financial assets. What does that mean? Investors' financial assets. So safeguarding investors' financial assets, as in record keeping the transactions. So it means record keeping the record keeping of the transactions done by the investors. Record keeping of the transactions done by the investor. done by the investor. Record keeping of the transactions done by the investor. So many international investment banks that are there in India, they act as the custodian in India, like JP Morgan, BNY Mellon, Goldman. They act as the custodian in India. The name in India, it is also called as depository participants. Actually, this custodian is also called as depository participants. That's the Indian name, depository participant. Okay. Then they can also do asset management work. They can do asset management or wealth management, asset management or wealth management. So these are some of the functions of an investment bank. And which are all the examples of investment banks? So examples of investment banks would be something like JP Morgan, JP Morgan, Goldman, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, okay, Citigroup. So these are some of the examples of investment banks. Now, if I say examples of Indian investment banks, examples of Indian investment banks, we normally, when we are asked about investment banks, we tend to give all these international examples. But what are the examples of Indian investment banks? So Indian investment banks examples are nothing but, we call them as brokers only, practically on the ground. But otherwise, big brokers, they are actually investment banks. Like, for example, ICICI Securities. So they act as the underwriter. Of course, they are not as big as all other international investment banks, but still ICICI Securities is an investment bank. HDFC Security is an investment bank. Kotak Security is an investment bank. Okay. Then Motilal Oswal Securities. Motilal Oswal Securities is an investment bank. These are some of the examples of investment banks in India. All right. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thanks a lot.